Hello and good evening for Wednesday, May 10th, 2023. We just finished episode 11th of Survivor 44 titled I'm Not Worthy. We're here to break it down and analyze it all. I'm Dave Mader here on Super Mader Brothers podcasting, streaming live on Facebook, YouTube, and on Twitch. Or you might be listening to us on the audio version. Joined with Hat Trick Josh Foster coming in strong here with the New England cap. How are you doing tonight, Josh?
Well, it's not Patrick, but thank you for trying. Just so we're clear, I am a Josh, not a Patrick. But yeah. Anyways,
noted.
I'm doing well. Thank you, Dave. And I'm looking forward to this episode. You know, there wasn't really any downsides, I guess, to the episode, other than the fact that there was no award challenge. But that's me. I'm picky.
Yeah, it was kind of they went for more strategy and relationship kind of stuff focused in this edit today. Less about competitions, less about rewards, if there was any at all. And it was more of a little bit more of a faster paced episode in some ways, in terms of just who was going to vote for who and what was the real plan, what was the fake plan. But spoilers, ultimately here tonight, Danny gets voted out in this episode, Foster. And
it was a great setup going into it. To be honest, I was on my edge of the seat by the end of it, watching how the votes unfolded.
Yeah. Did you enjoy Danny's De Niro face at the end of the episode?
I liked it because honestly, I really liked it because it was off script challenging Jeff. You know what I mean?
Right. Well, I have the clip. Let's relive it quickly here and see if it holds up.
Because it came in.
Jeff, I promised everybody back home, if you stuff my torch, I would De Niro face you.
Sure. This is your moment.
Hey, you snuffed my torch, Jeff? Snuff my torch. Huh? Snuff my torch. Snuff it. Yeah, snuff my torch. Yeah.
Oh my God.
Yeah, snuff. Go ahead, snuff. Huh? Snuff.
Danny? The tribe has spoken.
Love you, Danny.
Love you.
Foster, I don't know. This was fitting, I guess, send off here for Danny, but also I could have done without this as well. I did it was fitting. It fit with Danny's character and his story here as he kind of goes out, kind of as I would always picture him, Danny Bronx. How do you feel about it?
First of all, I didn't see it coming. Like I said before, I might have mentioned before, I think that Danny was a low-key good player because he wasn't winning immunities. It's even once again, it brought up in the conversation today between talking about whether it be Jam or Carson, right, who they're voting out before Jam won immunity. They were thinking Carson because of the because he's won immunity, right? So it factors into a lot with that. But with Danny, he was under the radar. He was a good social player, I thought, for within his group. He just kind of, once again, I don't know if it was they portrayed it as he got on Carolyn's nerves. You know what I mean? And that's why he got voted out, right? He couldn't be trusted. Right. That was why, because Carolyn was this is who we're voting out, Tatika, right?
Right.
But I think that Danny, if the numbers weren't against him this episode and they moved forward, I think he would have made the final 2 or 3.
But I don't think he would have won the game. I think he was not.
No, I don't think he would have won, but I think he would have made it there.
You know, and so I think that almost Heidi gets voted out here instead. It's very close in this end vote.
Yeah, I was surprised by that. I guess who were those 2 votes? Sorry,
who are the 2 votes on Heidi? Good question. I should look it up. I think be here in Danny's exit interview. Let's just throw that on quickly.
Oh, I got voted out by a great move. That's how I wanted to do it. It was certainly clever. I played my heart out. I left it all out there. I have no regrets. This is the adventure of my life for sure. I'll tell you that much. And yeah, Jeff had to stuff my torch. He's gonna get De Niro face. Jeff, this guy over there, he likes to snuff torches. Yeah, let him stuff my torch. Yeah.
There you go. So
let me
it
get
was Jamie and Lauren.
So let me get this straight. So not only did they already have the majority vote to get Danny out, right? For without the idol, right? Because there was 2 votes on Heidi, which came
There
from
was 2
Lauren
votes on
and
Carson. Carson wouldn't have gone here either. Well, he was close though. He was close to having forcing a tie.
Well, no, because there was 2, 2, and 3. So that's how the votes were split up.
It was 3 and
Right?
2. 3, 2, and 2. 3, 2, and 2. Ultimately,
Carolyn played the idol,
yes,
even though she didn't have to. And basically, what it was a huge flex on everyone, right? Like Franny's jaw dropped, right? Like no one was expecting that, right? And I think that it was a good time to use it because at the end of the day, she can only use her idol till final 5, right? Or final 4.
She can only use it till final. Well, yeah, she only can use it maybe for the next vote. I think actually.
Yeah. So there you go, right? So I think that was a really good timing on her part, right? And I think
But the votes
that
weren't going to
looks
go
like
on
that next
Carson.
episode.
I don't know.
Yeah.
Was this a waste on her part? Because ultimately Carson almost went here, but didn't go here. But she didn't want to risk it. But I knew she was going to do it. I knew when she told Carson about it, she was going to use it to save Carson. That she had decided at that point.
Well, I don't like that she told Carson. Well, that was my first reaction. That's what I put down in my my notes. But so my initial reaction was that. But I think once again, it looks good to the jury, but her game wise, and it shows in the preview for the next episode, she's in trouble now because she's a target, right?
Now she's made herself a target with this move. She's made a big spectacle. Now the jury is clearly endeared by her after this move here with Danny. And she went from nobody was saying her name, especially when they were talking about getting out something from Tika. It was all about Jam Jam and then Carson. Only because Jam Jam wins immunity here is he not the target and then they want to go to Carson. And then Carolyn's the third option. But after this move, she's made herself high profile and she's made herself a big target, but also if she can get to the final 3, she's almost guaranteed to win, I think.
Well, that's where it looks like
Jam. Is it too early? Is it too early here at final 7?
Final 7. Yeah. Well, exactly. Well, once again, I still think that it's you got to consider the options, right? Because she's got to use it between now and next week. So does she use it and make a move, right? Or does she hold on to it and go into the final 5 or whatever, right? Final 4, whatever, final 5 with what she's got, right? And then with it, sorry, and then see where go from there. But I once again, I think that she had to make a statement to the jury because no one really was taking her seriously either, Dave. Like she had to, do something.
Do you think in terms of making people think that suddenly she's here to play? Because you're right, you see that in the next time on Survivor. I think it is Lauren who says that here. But so I guess what it comes down to is like, could have Carolyn found out if Carson was in danger? Because I think if Carson is in danger and you save him here at this vote with this idol, I think it's a good enough move. You're saving a big ally. You'll have numbers going into this next mode, but we see even in this preview that even Carson and Jam Jam now have all the reason to cut her because she's going to win at the end, and they're only a couple of votes away from getting down to final 3. If she wins immunity at final 4, and then all of a sudden she can decide who just fire, she could almost guarantee to win. So they're very close to the finish line here. That's why if she had done, if Carson had actually had the votes on him, then this is fine. But I think what she had to do was figure out exactly what Jamie and Lauren were doing, and that's the information she couldn't get. She didn't know, she couldn't rely on what they were going to do. Coming in hot here, Jaemeel Robinson.
Jaemeel,
here on this.
Sorry, I can't do a De Niro face.
Jaemeel, I just had a hot take.
My torch. You want to stuff my torch? I can't really do it either.
I just had a hot take, Jaemeel, and you're gonna have to rebuttal on this one big time.
Oh. Okay, hit me with the digits.
So what I was saying was, sorry, the dog. What I was saying was with the vote, Carolyn didn't have to technically play her idol, right? With how the vote went down. But with I said it, but I said it was still a flex because if for the jury. No, it's not. It's not. It's just it's a ball cap. It's still, yeah. But thanks. So I said it was a flex that she played it in front of the jury because it looks like, Frayne dropped her jaw. Like, I think it caught a lot of people's eyes, but unfortunately now she's a target.
Carolyn.
Okay.
Was this too early, Jaemeel? That's what we were just discussing right now. What did Carolyn saving Carson here? Was this the right thing to play the idol on him? Should she have figured out, well, he's only getting 2 votes for sure on him, and there's a good chance I can get Danny out here with 3. So therefore, using the idol here on Carson at this vote and making herself a big target moving forward, is it too early? Is my sort of question.
So technically, she was supposed to be the 3rd vote on Carson, and she crossed out and put Danny. Right. But
she was supposed to be the vote on. She wrote down Lauren, didn't she?
No, she put down Carson.
She was going to vote Carson out.
Now, do we know for a fact?
I don't think that's what it said. Is that what it said?
The crossout was Lauren. You're right, Dave.
Okay, I can bring up the instant replay.
I'm looking through it right now. Okay, so Danny voted Carson.
Here it is.
Let's see.
It says Lauren.
Heidi, Danny.
But here, let's look at the footage here, Jaemeel.
That's some terrible writing.
That says Lauren.
That looks like a C. That looks like a C.
That could be.
That looks like a C.
It could be a lot of different letters.
That's an L.
How is it an L?
Let's have a closer look here.
The L and Lauren?
I could see a T there. I could see a C there.
Well, you got to see where the scribble is, man. Like, you can't. There's an L under there. See how the way the stroke down goes to the right? There's an L.
This is
like do an L on the angle like that.
Yeah, whatever. It's whatever. Whatever, Jimmy. What are you? It's a swerve. It's not a swerve.
Well, if I ever see Carolyn, I'll have to give her some things about her penmanship.
Well, I don't know why they did that, but anyways, it could have gone their way without playing the idol. So it was. I thought it was a flex by Carolyn, but obviously it's gonna now she's a hot.
Well, technically, if Danny played his idol and Carolyn didn't play hers, then it would have been a tie between Heidi and Carson, and then there would have been a revote. And I believe they have enough people to get rid of Carson.
So then why didn't Danny?
Am I at least right in that regard, folks?
Why didn't Danny play his idol then?
Because Danny, like De Niro, thought he was much better than he actually is.
Well, that's true. Why did Jamie and Lauren vote as they did here against Heidi specifically? What was their intent?
Their intent was probably filmed but not shown to us, because then we wouldn't have been surprised by the outcome of the episode.
What are they going to do when they go to 90 minutes, though? They're going to have to give us this information going into the
more scenes about lobsters and broken pieces on the beach and little finger traps and everything like that. All the stuff that Foster, I know you love and care about, and you wish the episodes were just filled with that, just rummaging for garbage along the beach. Less time for competitions, more garbage time.
No, thank you. There better be some double reward challenges in the future in these next coming episodes, or I'm going to be really pissed.
Jaemeel, maybe we'll get more Ponderosa segments than on Survivor.
Actually, go ahead. Okay, I was going to say this brings up a good point. How many episodes do we have left? We've got 6 people left. I know this. I know this is like more of like an where are we at right now?
Well, this was episode 11. And
Yes,
normally,
two more.
like these episodes have had, so we have 2 more after this.
I think so.
Seems.
Because it'll go down to 5, and then from 5 it's a 4, and then final 3.
So
But,
what?
or
so
do we have
next-
one more
next
episode? Is
weekend
that
is-
they didn't say the
3
next
more
episode's the
episodes?
finale? The next preview did not seem like the finale.
It's
I
not
think
the
that
finale. I think it's
we'll have
penultimate.
next Wednesday and then the following.
Yeah, but is next Wednesday going to be a 2 episode, like not 2 episodes, sorry, like a 90-minute episode to eliminate 2 eliminated contestants kind of thing, or no?
No, it's usually
down
just
to
one
4.
person. What ends up happening is they go from, like, right now it's final 5. Right now they go from 5 to 4, and then in the last episode earlier on they get rid of the 4th person, which is through the challenge and fire, right? And then you have the final 3. So it isn't that much. It's usually like in 90 minutes anyways, plus a 30 minutes thing. So it usually works out.
Okay. You said 2 more. You said 2 more episodes, Dave?
I think it's 2 more episodes.
I think it's next
feels
week, and then the week, and then the following Wednesday will be the finale.
Yeah. And that would be the weekend going into Memorial Day weekend. So
Now,
that seems about right.
I wish they just went down to a final 2. I think that would be a more exciting finale for me, because then it comes down to, okay, how the jury's going to vote and which game are they going to value more. I think that could be more interesting than some of the normal finales. And then we get a final 3, and there's always sort of like a throwaway candidate in that, for that jury to sort of disregard.
So if the Tika 3 make it, I think that's the strongest trio in
Okay.
all.
If that, then I will go, okay, I was wrong. This is final 3. This is what it's all about. With 3 people from the same tribe, the 3 Stooges alliance, when they ride the game, that's when the final 3 makes no sense.
Because I think all of them have a case, honestly, the 3 of them. In comparison to,
didn't Carson come late though to Tika? Just to be, I want to clarify that, right? Because she wasn't originally on Tika, was he?
he was on Tika and then he left. He got moved away and
okay, and then
Yeah.
reunited. Okay,
yeah.
thank you. It's been it's just,
and
how many years? Yeah, 11 weeks.
11 weeks indeed. 11 weeks indeed.
Yeah. So guys, the episode overall, how did we feel about it?
It was a great Carolyn episode. Honestly.
It started off with her being mad at like the group,
Which to me did not make any sense in terms of how they reacted towards her, especially Jam Jam, because he's like, you need to get over it. Mr. Jam Jam, who is like, you voted for me, so I'm coming after you, for how many weeks in a row. So he needs to like hold up, full stop right there. And Danny with
she's loud. She's so loud.
So
No,
Danny's loud.
Like,
But Danny's loud too, but because he's Danny, people just roll their eyes and let it go. But for her, she's emotional.
she's
Right?
not gonna let
Danny's
it go.
emotional.
She's not gonna let him get away with.
Neither does Danny or Jam Jam. It's just that specifically her, because she says everything she feels, right? And she's not purposely passive aggressive, right? Because Danny was saying smart ass things about Carolyn to the group.
Mm-hmm. Well, and then he was like lying to her face. And she's like, "Yeah, is this the fake plan? Is this the fake plan or the real plan?"
Great.
she doesn't care, right? No filter. No filter.
No filter. He was like, "This is the real plan." She's like, "Oh yeah." I think you guys are voting out Carson. She was just gotta give her some credit there.
That's great.
She's been the best part of the season by far, and she's playing the game too. You can kind of criticize some of the minutia of her moves here, but she's playing as well as any other Survivor player I've seen. And she's coming in pretty fresh. In terms of,
I honestly think that people like her a lot more because she's genuine in comparison to Danny, who just seems so full of shit. It's ridiculous, right? And his metaphors or analogies are all garbage, in my opinion. Like, she at least tells it as it is, right? So,
right. Yeah, Danny and her not getting along. They couldn't keep going on this beach together. Ultimately,
But
they were trying
Dave,
to be kumbaya.
Dave, you wouldn't put up with this either. If all of a sudden people betrayed you, right? And then the
No.
next day is like, oh, let's just sit in a circle and just like, be nice and happy and breathe deep. You're like, I don't want to do this. This is dumb. Right?
Well, this makes me think about Jamie, who I think comes across as kind of this unstable element to be still in this game, or maybe in the universe. I'm not even. I would go even further than Survivor. She has like this energy that makes me like I feel like it's a time bomb, maybe like a tick.
Like she's gonna stab you in the middle of the night.
Possibly, Foster, am I over dramatizing her? Am I being unfair to Jamie? Is she actually? Not?
I think she's bubbly. I think she's fun. She brings a positive energy to the show, but at the same time, I want more villains.
Is she a hero for you?
No, she's not. Well, yeah, if you're gonna categorize her, she's a hero. Yeah,
To me,
But-
she's cannon fodder.
but she's not like if you're gonna go heroes versus villains. But like, sure, Jaemeel, if we'll get technical, I guess. But she's still,
Cannon fodder. She's dare to get run over by either a hero or villain.
Is she a healer, a hustler, or a hero?
She's on paper, she's a healer. She thinks she's a hustler. But what was it?
Hero?
Healer?
She's
Hero?
a David. She's a David.
She's not a hero.
David or Goliath? Okay, let's move on. With all these metaphors we could go through, I thought for sure Heidi was going to get voted out in this episode because we got her package here in terms of her backstory coming from Puerto Rico, and sometimes
I disagree with her story. She didn't come to the United States. Puerto Rico is part of the United States.
Yes, but still, it's a far place to move to, I suppose, the mainland.
Very true. Very true.
So it's still not easy, and the language barriers perhaps too. You would face, but good, so like I was like, okay, this is Heidi's boot episode. We see here she's lifting weights, she's jumping rope.
Yep. Hey, Foster, can you lift that?
We'll go back. No way.
I think you can.
The way that I throw my back out, man. I can't.
Yeah, one of those belts on, like she has, like those
Yeah, you
weightlifting
have the
belts.
belt on. You have your forms.
That won't help me. I've got first of all, I there was a time where I tried to commit to the gym, as we all try maybe at one point in our lives. And I ran for a bit, I was in college, right? It was good success. It was a gym part of the Mohawk College, it was a good time. And it was great. And, I worked out for a few years, but at the same time, it was just like I got to a point where I started working. I was like, I can't do this anymore. I mentally can't do the work during the day and then go do the physical work. It's just too much. And for me, like it was, that was just me personally.
That's
right?
okay.
But,
You refocused and put your energy in being the smart, wonderful person that you are today. So I think we're better. We're better from it.
Okay, well, thank you, but at the same time, it's everyone's like I know the allure of like working out and training and getting that exercise and all that, right? But like, for me right now, no, it's not right now.
Fair enough. Fair enough.
I
I just carry pocket sand.
This conversation we have in the episode here at this point here in TK 3 when they're kind of trying to figure out what to do. This is before even the immunity challenge, I believe.
Yeah, it's really obvious that they're the threesome. It's funny, right? Like because they don't like say anything, but at the same time, it's like Carolyn. What we see throughout this episode is she's very what's the word I'm looking for? She's very aware. Not aware isn't
perceptive.
Perceptive, yeah, thank you. Yeah, perceptive to what's going on around her, right? Like, and this isn't the first time in the season she's done that, right? Like, as an audience, we see the potential in her, but but they don't. But the other, members don't see her that way, right? Until this next episode, right, or until this move, right? I've thought for a while now that she's, not only for her personality, but she's game wise, she's up there with the bigger threats. Not from a challenge perspective, but from a social perspective and from like a maneuvering perspective.
Yeah, she has a good read on people, and it serves her well.
Yeah.
Okay, so Carolyn, let's talk about her whole segment here where she was like a mermaid, where she was kind of like going underwater.
Do we need to?
I think we need to. I need to know how you guys felt about it, at least.
Oh, I just wanted they should have had like a parody version of Under the Sea.
She says she's up every hour, guys. That
she probably not sleeping.
She never has continuous sleep. How do you guys feel about that?
Makes sense.
Well, think about it. How was Tony? Because he didn't sleep much, right? Or what other?
I think he could. I think he slept at least a couple hours. Like I've never heard of someone never having like at least a couple hours like in a row.
So is there anybody? Have you heard this before with other cast members?
Yeah,
I've never heard of this. I've never heard of this with another human being. I let alone another Survivor player.
On Survivor, yeah, it's happened a bunch of times where people could not sleep, and usually they left the game because they just couldn't.
I get when you're out there, but like not in all of life. I think my impression was that Carolyn never sleeps.
Oh no, I get it from here.
No, I think it's a here thing. I don't think it's not necessarily. Well, I don't know. It's tough to say. Like we don't like she. It seems to me that she has a very complicated history.
Can we have that whole moment there in Tribal Council where she, he has to, why don't you get some sleep?
You get some sleep, Carolyn. Who knows how you'll see things. Are you mad at me now?
Yes.
Why?
I love that. That was awesome.
He's right. Call him on his ish, man. Call him on it. Because, like, obviously Danny took a swipe at her, and she's put him in his place. And then, then Jeff piles on, thinking that he can make a joke of it. And she's like, no, I'm not joking about this. Screw Danny. So I'm mad. And she later takes back and like, yeah, she's joking, right? But like Danny, like, and we're not seeing it. And I get the distinct feeling from all that I've seen of Danny. Danny's constantly making these snide comments to people. Right. And Heidi too dependent on him to really stand up and tell him anything, right? Jam doesn't care, right?
He was not like useful to anybody else, really, other than Heidi. Really,
yeah.
Why? Who cares if Danny goes here? Like, other than Danny,
correct. Like,
Heidi I think was fine to lose him here. Like, she didn't care.
Yep,
she was last episode. She was ready to cut him.
Who should have cut him last? Well, I understand them getting.
She tries to vote out Carson in this episode, and she gets her vote canceled out. But
yeah. So let's be honest with ourselves. Was it right to get rid of Franny last episode?
Yeah, I think it was. I think still yes. I think if you're these other players, why not? So
it makes sense, right? Does it make sense to get rid of Danny? Yeah, because if you're Lauren, if you're Heidi, right? If you're Julie or Jamie, right? Do you think you can beat Danny in a physical challenge? Probably not. Could you beat Jam? Maybe, depending on the challenge. Carolyn? Yeah, depending on the challenge. Carson? As long as it's not a puzzle. Right? So there's it opens up the field. So it does make sense to get rid of Danny now. Right?
Right. Guys, let's talk about the reward challenge or the immunity challenge. I'm sorry. of this episode.
So you got Foster. So I saw the twinkle in your eye, Foster. You're like, wait, there was a reward challenge? Was there a challenge I missed?
No, I misspoke. Sorry, I didn't mean to get your hopes up there. The immunity challenge. Have you seen this challenge before, Foster, where they had to go under the water here in the
It was
Greats?
last season, wasn't it?
Thank you, Foster. Thank you. It was last season.
I couldn't recall if you had seen
Yeah,
this.
because it was like I very much recognize this. They obviously, and last season they went through the whole time, and the tide went down enough that they had to stop it. There's two of them standing. I think I can't remember who it was, but anyways, I like this challenge. I really do. First of all, I was before they even showed it. I was like, yes, water challenge, woo! I'm all for it. And obviously getting there by boat is a good. They probably put them out farther, right? So, yeah, no, it was. I do like the challenge. It was a good endurance challenge, and it. I was surprised in the order that they went. Like Carson went out pretty early.
But didn't he just learn to swim? Like
what?
But Carson just learned to swim, didn't he?
Oh, did he? Oh, I didn't know that.
Who tested it in their bathtub? Who said that?
Probably Carson.
I got voted out by a great move.
That was a mistake. I tested this in my bathtub as the caption there, but
probably Carson and Danny. It wouldn't surprise me.
Right. Carolyn held on for a long time too. In the show.
Yeah.
Lauren
Heidi
basically saying she was going to be the first one out, but I think she just was like, "I'm going to stay in the water without baking in the sun for as long as possible as well, and becoming more dehydrated."
Yeah, who did you think in this challenge needed? Who do you think needed this immunity the most?
I think Jam Jam was probably the one. I think that the edit in this episode indicates that he was the one that they were like, they wanted to cut the Tika 3 down, and Jam Jam was at the top of the list. So I think him winning this here was huge for his game, and if he makes it to final 3, I think you can definitely make a case of why he could win, even if you don't necessarily love him on the show.
But I think everyone loves Jam Jam.
No, Jane doesn't love Jam Jam. She's not a fan of his.
Oh, that's I don't like him.
I like him, but I wouldn't vote for him to win it.
Well, in comparison to other people, like Carson or Carolyn.
Yeah, I would vote Carson. At this point, the people I'd probably vote would be Carson, Carolyn. Hasn't Heidi won an immunity?
Yeah, I think she won one.
Yes, I believe she won one.
Yeah, like I would put Heidi over Jam Jam. I do.
She won it last week, didn't she?
I do.
Heidi nearly won this.
Yeah,
I
do put a lot of stock in challenges. I really do.
You do. That's okay.
Well, how do you feel about this? Okay, this ultimately came down between the two Puerto Ricans, Jam Jam and Heidi. Any coincidence, or is there some kind of correlation here?
They wanted more, and this was a big week for Puerto Rico.
Yeah.
They had Backlash. They had their first WWE pay-per-view in 18 years, and it was a rousing success. Bad Bunny, the most streamed musician in the world, hosted it and wrestled on it.
Well, that sounds exciting. That sounds like they had a good time at the show.
Yeah, Puerto Rico's in the limelight right now, so they held strong overall.
Right. Well, Jam Jam ultimately wins this challenge. Good for him, I say.
Danny had to come and tell him he won because he was still under.
He was in the zone. I don't blame him. Like, he was probably in a different mental mode, just trying to keep that breathing calm and focused as much as he could breathe through like his tube in his mouth. So that's got to be tough. I think that this takes a certain type of training, maybe as a swimmer, if you have that background at all, or so. And Heidi here, I thought she was going to be locked in to win this with her technique here of crawling through the grate and pulling herself up as close to the surface as possible. But ultimately, It was more about the technique of just keeping your breathing sort of calm, I think, more than anything.
Well, and doing this, right, to like get a little bit extra of room to breathe.
Right. So good on Jam Jam. He wins the thing here. He was very happy. Yeah, where's Danny? He has to come and get him. Splashes in here. Close enough. Never thought he'd win. He's
And then we get a victory dance. Did it? What's this? Isn't that the truffle shuffle from the Goonies?
Let's go back.
I love it. Oh,
There you go.
it's great.
All right, I need that as a clip on its own. Yeah, so Jam Jam here wins immunity. He's very thrilled. It's kind of a nice moment. They have this. Why did they have to swim back? They arrived on boat, guys, and then they had to swim back here. And I was like, this seems like a long swim out into this ocean here. Where were they going?
It's like everyone come back. The boats are coming.
Yeah. Oh, coming in here right from the Leaf game. Jeff Nader. Let's see what's going on.
I knew you would have a take for it because you watched Survivor.
The Leafs won, Jeff.
Yes, I watched Survivor while I watched the Leaf game.
You were
more
multitasking.
paying attention to the.
I was watching Survivor, and then there was intermission, so I had time. So I got like 85-90% of the show in. I got De Niro face in. So
Yeah, did you like De
Can't do
Niro
it.
face?
you gonna torch my what was it, stuff my torch? Is that what
You
you're
gonna
gonna
snuff
do?
my torch?
You think you're a tough
I
guy?
love Jeff's reaction to it though. Just completely no selling it.
He's like, this is my moment, not your moment. Yeah.
Yeah, he's like, yeah, this is like I go snuff my torch.
Jeff, I promised everybody back home, if you stuff my torch, I would De Niro face you.
Sure. This is your moment.
Hey, you snuff my torch, Jeff? Snuff my torch. Huh? Snuff my torch.
He hates it so much. You can see it on his face how much he hates it.
And he just watches the. This is great.
And the fact that he said, sure, it's their moment is so condescending.
Yeah, he doesn't mean that, I don't think.
No, he's means the
So
opposite
great.
of it. He's like, no, it's my moment. It's not
Yeah,
yours.
it's actually my moment. This is my Jeff moment. This is where I stuffed the torch. I've been doing this for 20 years. You gonna take my moment here, Danny Bronx?
I actually kind of loved it because you know what? It was at least somebody doing something different. And,
And he farted at Jeff, and now he does this De Niro face at him.
right. Which is the face you make when you fart or you smell a fart.
It's all correlated. That's the New York way.
Yeah.
Jeff, Danny gets voted out here. Carolyn uses this idol on Carson.
Yeah.
Is that a good move here by Carolyn? And is she going to be able to win the game from here? Or is she too much of a target going into this episode?
I don't know. Like, I think it's a good move. Obviously, she already had the jury, though. That's the thing with her. Like, I think she solidified.
They didn't know that.
Yeah, but I think I knew it. I think you knew it. I think most of them know she's popular. Yeah, Jaemeel knew it. Josh might have known it. But
Danny didn't know it.
Danny didn't know it. Like Heidi and them didn't seem because they
Lauren,
were.
I don't think they know it.
They should have targeted her, not Carson.
Right.
And this whole thing with Carolyn, where it's like last week it was Franny. She's the best person I've ever met. She's the greatest. Now it's Carson. You're the greatest person I've ever met. What is like? It's a little annoying. I love Carolyn, but what the hell is this?
Is she a good player or a bad player?
She's a very to the top of the mountain emotional player, and that's fun to watch. But as like to critique her game, it's just kind of like, what are you doing? But she is so likable. So it's like if she gets the
So she can get away with it.
She can get away with it, yes. But it's still like I still like her. But it's just like her gameplay is like so dependent on somebody to be my friend.
But also I stated that Jam Jam is just as emotional, Mr. You voted for me, so I'm gonna get you out of this game no matter what.
Absolutely.
Right.
Yes.
When Kane went out and there was now he's like riding high, he won this immunity.
Danny also is that way too. He was the whole night tonight. He was trying to snuff out whether or not Heidi voted for him, and who he thought it was really Jam Jam. And then Jam Jam wins immunity, so he can't go after Jam Jam. So
But it was Heidi that voted for him.
exactly. He didn't figure it out. I'm sure he watched the episode tonight, or he might have already known it.
You probably already knew by that point.
Yeah.
But yeah,
He's
are
probably
you
like, yeah, I voted for you.
Are you annoyed?
Absolutely.
Right on. Because Danny's been doing snide comments you see it all the time. And she's like, no. AMB were having a conversation.
He just disagrees with whatever she said. Like, and Jeff would purposely egged it on. It was a great tribal tonight, actually, in some ways, because I thought that he was just like, he knew that Danny and Carolyn were going to be at odds with each other, and we're going to just disagree with whatever they said. The other one said, and said, and Danny was always like, okay, whatever, Carolyn, I don't care, you don't matter, that he gets voted out here. The whole jury sees this moment where she gets the drop on him ultimately.
Yeah. How did she do that though? Like, how did she snuff out the fact that Carson was the vote? Like, there must have been something we didn't see in the episode.
Because Danny doesn't see her as a threat.
Yeah, maybe. And Jam Jam was safe. So he, Carson was the obvious target, I guess. I don't know. I just don't think Danny thought about this vote enough. And also, why were they splitting votes?
They were worried about Danny having an idol. That was kind of mentioned.
Yeah, but if the Tika 3 vote together, they're not beating the 2-2 thing's stupid.
Right. Well, this whole moment here where Carolyn was like trying to figure out what to do for the longest time. She didn't know what vote to go with. Like, everyone was kind of like, why is Carolyn taking such a long time? The facial.
She should have just farted. Hey, Jeff, and just farted.
Yeah. All you hear from way away is just a epic fart.
Just because everyone's waiting in the silence.
Yeah, just kind of dealing with it here, and then she's like going with it. Who was she going to vote for here?
Lauren. She crossed it out, and then she voted.
But why? That would have been a throwaway vote, Lauren.
Exactly. Like, I sometimes, and then she's counting on her hand, and I'm like, it's not a complicated vote. There's only 7 people, and you basically know you have 2 people voting with you. Like, I don't get it. Like, I don't get her sometimes. I'm just like, it's very simple, but she overcomplicates it.
Unless she was voting and it was a throwaway vote, right? And then she realized it doesn't make any sense to do a throwaway vote because, once again, if Danny had his idol, right, then it would have been a 2-2 tie, right? Her Lauren vote would not count, right? Danny's votes would not count, and then they would re-vote for either Carson or Heidi, and they have enough votes to vote out Carson.
But did she? Okay, again, so this is what the thing is. Like, did she know they were splitting votes? There has to be a rat in the people of Danny and Jamie. There has to be a rat that was giving Carolyn information, because for her to make this call here, it's kind of,
she nearly blew it. She nearly blew it here, and would have forced a tie between, at best, Heidi and Danny. Right, and Carson would, but if she hadn't played the idol on Carson, it would have been a 3-way tie, and then they would have had to re-vote, with only being able to vote for those 3 people.
Right. Yes.
And then she could have played the idol on.
No, you can't play an idol after.
You can't play an idol after.
No.
Okay.
No.
So, but if she had voted for Lauren here, this would have been a nothing vote. So I don't understand.
Well, I don't understand. I get where Jameel's coming from, because yes, he's right. If Danny plays, but yeah, you're right. It's a nothing vote. Like, it's not complicated. Like, all she had to do was make sure she got the idol play right, and she did.
One more scenario. What if Danny and Heidi both play their idols?
Did Danny have an idol? I thought he already played.
Danny has an idol.
Why didn't he play it?
He had no idea they were going to vote for him. They were convinced that Danny, or at least Carolyn was convinced that Danny's definitely going to play an idol. Carson's going to be in a tie here, potentially with Heidi. And so therefore I can't allow that. So then Heidi was going to go here. So maybe but then the vote on Lauren is still the most curious thing.
Still, if Heidi had an idol, right? She was preventing Idlegeddon.
Why didn't Heidi or Danny play an idol? Once
Heidi's-
Carolyn plays the idol for the person you voted for, you have to think, well, now I have a 1 in 4 chance of going home. You know?
That's an absolute good point. That's an absolute good point. But it helps her for next one.
Well, it does Heidi, but you know what I mean? Like, if it's me, if I'm playing the game and that comes up where like, all right, crap, the person I voted for just got an idol played on them. I am 100% playing my idol on myself because I guarantee myself final 6, which really that's huge, you know?
You really only have one before fire, so yeah.
Yeah.
I don't know why, but that's the only thing I can see that makes sense is that she was, if I put a vote on Danny and Danny has an idol, then it's a 2-2 tie with Heidi and Carson. And if I put the thing on Carson and Heidi has an idol, that means it is me and what's her name and Lauren that have to draw rocks. Or sorry, me and Lauren, that's the only 2 eligible to be voted for. And they're going to vote out me before they vote out Lauren.
Okay, but all right. So can you explain the logic to me from Danny, Heidi group point of view?
There is no logic. They thought they had it.
No. Why are you splitting votes? Why are you putting
shots in the dark because of
but and then also why are you splitting the votes and putting 2 of the votes on Heidi? Why are you not putting those 2 votes on Carolyn?
Who put the votes on Heidi again?
Votes on Heidi came from Jamie and Lauren. Why?
Jamie and Lauren thought they had the power.
Remember, they
were like,
do a good job of
the
telling the story of this tribal. And from
They
my
did it.
perspective, this episode was from a storytelling perspective was bad. It was very misleading.
It's
because it
all about Carolyn and her under the sea moment and finding, little trinkets.
But it made it seem like Dave's right. They made it seem the whole episode that it was basically Danny and his 3 girls against Carolyn, like the Tika people. Yeah.
Yep.
I'm gonna chime in here finally because I've just been I've been kind of quiet here for a bit here. I said at the beginning of this episode, if you I don't think you saw Jaemeel or Jeff, but I was surprised that Carolyn was impressed that because there was a conversation that Carolyn convinced Heidi, not Heidi, sorry, Jamie and Lauren to vote for Heidi
at the beginning of the episode.
Yeah,
and that carried through to the vote.
Yeah, it seems that way.
Yeah. Okay. Again, I mean, those 2 girls are not playing well. Like, let's just be real.
No, they're not. No, that's why I was surprised, right? Because I was surprised that she was able to do that. Like I was prepared going into tribal for a 4-3 vote on Carson, right? And her playing the idol, and then them voting out Danny, right? That was what I was expecting. I was not expecting them to be able to split the votes because I thought that it's like, why? Once again, they said this throughout the whole episode, right? Like there's 3 Tika and there's 4 of them, right? So why wouldn't they go against them? And for them to split, for Jamie and Lauren to split off against Heidi, like Heidi's screwed next week.
Well, Heidi's an idol though.
I know. She's not screwed in that sense, but she is screwed. Like, she's a target, right? She's on the range.
But she can win. She can win challenges. The other 2 girls are the ones that are screwed. That's why
Lauren won a challenge.
Okay, but like, come on, like they're in this final 6-5 challenges. Those 2 girls are going to get voted out. They're not making maybe one of them makes the final 3, maybe, and not because they took themselves there. You know what I mean? Like they're not controlling the game; they're passengers, and what they could have done tonight was make sure they got either Carson or Carolyn out, and then they were much more in a driver's seat to control votes, and they just we're like, no, we're going for Heidi. Which isn't splitting votes, by the way, because the people you're splitting the votes with is one of the persons you're voting for, right? So, it's just stupid. It just makes.
What was going on here? What was Carolyn really think she was doing here? And is she really a mastermind, or is this more like?
I told you that's why she was counting.
She was counting votes, but she didn't really.
Yeah.
So she knew those Heidi votes were coming, like Josh was saying.
She had
So
to.
So yeah,
If
she
she
had
knew that.
to.
Then why?
And those two
why play
girls-
the idol on Carson? That
Because
doesn't make
those two
sense.
girls, Jamie Lynn and Lauren, told Carolyn that Carson was getting votes. That's what happened. But they didn't show that in the show. But I think that's what happened.
There's going to be a deleted scene, and it's going to be there, and you're like, why wasn't this part of the show? You know.
Yeah, it should have
But
been, but
that's
they never show you that scene because they want you to be confused and talk about it like we are right now, and be like, well, "What's going on?" And why did that happen? Because, and I think Josh is right that they did show you, but it was at the beginning of the episode, and it didn't really correlate to the whole vote.
To me, it only makes sense if she was counting votes and she saw that, like, it was a choice between let's, get Danny, or I'm going to be screwed possibly in an idol get-in.
Yeah, and I would like to have one final vote for somebody,
From somebody else. Was this a
somebody
fallback
else.
vote? If
It was yeah, that's exactly what it was, because she was worried that an idol gets played for Carson, which is her idol. An idol gets played for Heidi, which and then an idol gets played for Danny. So 3 idols are played. So she was hoping that one vote would be left over to take out Lauren.
Too cute. Too cute.
You say too cute, but like
they didn't play their idols like idiots.
We haven't seen idols being played.
Well, okay. The thing is, like, once one idol's played, the chances of more idols being played goes up for sure.
Especially when you're playing the idol on the person they are voting for 100%. Both Danny and Heidi voted for Carson. She plays the idol on Carson. They have to be thinking, "Oh crap!" But for some reason, they weren't.
Danny should have. For some reason, Danny doesn't play his idol after Carolyn plays her idol, because that's his cue. He has that moment to consider that.
He should have,
and he doesn't. Yeah. And Heidi has an idol too, right?
Heidi also should have.
Yeah, she does.
But she also chooses not to.
Right.
And she nearly gets voted out here.
And she had gotten votes the last 2 tribal cancels. She reminded us like
she has
times.
even more reason to.
All right. Okay. But then, okay. So fine. So they're all a bunch of. They're just lucky to be alive, I guess, in this game. And
they're just not good players. They're not like, even Danny disappointed me, man. I'm like, you have to just play the numbers at that point. You got your vote wrong.
That's why you need the paranoia of Tony.
Yes.
Right. Or Russell. That's there. Like that inability to like I think that everyone's out to get me type of thing, but let me like be smart enough to realize when I have to go all in. Right. And obviously that X factor, Carolyn has more of that than Danny does, more than Heidi does.
Yeah, I agree.
We're all in agreement. Okay.
Sorry. I was a little distracted there, guys.
That's okay.
I was really just trying to find a shot of the final of this jury here from the episode.
Oh, the jury. Especially Franny with her shocked looks, and
she's got the facial expressions going on. Franny, she's going for it here. We've got a little ahead here. When after this idol is played here, she gets quite animated.
They all get. I think it's not just the people who are at tribal who act animated. It's now the jury feels like they have to perform as well. It's so evident and it's so annoying. Like,
so annoying.
Oh, it's like no.
And they hold each other back as if they're gonna fall off their seats and stuff. But yeah.
That was a horror movie.
Stop it.
She did it. She went up there. She played that idol.
Look how annoyed she looks. Play your idol, you idiots.
Yeah, she's like, no, I'm not. Daddy's not worried. He doesn't. He thinks that it won't be him.
Who do you think it's gonna be? Heidi? Oh yeah, Franny's freaking out.
Franny's freaking out. We see here. Yeah. Also, Brandon is
Matt's stoned. He's like, what's going on?
Kane's constipated at the moment.
Yeah, Kane's constipated.
Yeah.
Wow, she got up. What did she get up for?
I got the Fijian weed. She plays this idol here. Carson.
Why are you not playing your
Look at
idol?
Heidi. Look at Heidi's face. She's just like, like what is she thinking? Like, what are the? They're hugging. What are these players doing? It is so frustrating watching this because it's like nobody knows what. Like, I'm fascinated to like. I might actually go listen to some of these exit interviews, like especially maybe this Danny one and maybe a Heidi one, because it's just like, what were you thinking? You know?
Well, you think the Heidi one's coming a lot sooner rather than later?
Yeah. Yes.
Heidi's going to win the whole game, Jeff.
No, Heidi's probably getting voted out next. Well, she's got
With her idol, she's gonna get voted out with her idol.
Won't be
I
surprised.
thought it was going to be her because we got her whole backstory package in this episode.
Wait, isn't
Also-
next time the last time you can use your idol?
My favorite moment of the whole night, though, was during the Heidi back package when they showed her on a paraglider and then the guy beside her's face was blurred out. I'm like, why didn't you just not use that picture? You had plenty of other good pictures.
No, she liked that one.
Yeah.
She's like, screw that guy.
Yeah. She's like, it was probably. I was like, it's either an ex-boyfriend or it's just some dude that she happened to do it with because she's
and
like,
she couldn't track down.
Yeah, and she's just an adventurous spirit and she wanted to go.
I'm trying to remember when that moment in the episode happened.
It was my favorite moment of the whole episode. I was like, what? Why even use the picture?
Okay.
You know?
Also, everyone can do me a favor. If you can find Jam sweater that he wore this episode, and if you find it, send me a message, right? So I could buy it.
Jam sweater is the
Jam Jam's got some nice style, man. Like for
I
everybody.
like that sweater. That sweater is just so awesome. And even under the dirt and muck of the Fijian island still looks good.
Yeah. I can't find it. Sorry. He's never wearing it when I find him in the episode.
He wears it at the beginning when he has a conversation with Carolyn. At the very beginning.
At the very beginning. Okay,
yep,
give me 10
very
seconds.
beginning. Yes.
He's wearing it's like purple, right?
Yeah, it's purple.
It's like a purple Mexican type sweater. That's pretty sweet.
Who's winning fire in this group?
Oh, is this at him where he's wearing it there?
He's wearing it there.
Yeah, no, it's pretty
Love
sweet.
that sweater.
It's got like a sick like pattern on it. It's like a cool material.
Okay.
Also, all right. Another thing, nitpick. No more yoga time on Survivor. Can we remove yoga time?
You don't like the
did you
kumbaya?
like Carolyn's reaction?
Any kumbaya Zen meditation moment has to go from the show.
Did you appreciate Carolyn's reaction to it?
Yes. I was the only good part of it. But yeah, at the same time, I'm just like, stop. Why is they're so bored, I guess. But I'm just like, the show has to stop. Like, they can do yoga. That's fine. Stop showing it on the show. It's like
what else is going to show in the next 90-minute versions? They're not going to show more challenges. Sorry, Foster.
More challenge.
challenge.
I say they bring in everybody from the challenge, and then they gotta compete against them.
Danny for the challenge.
He would not. He would.
Did he win any challenges? Did he win individual immunity?
No.
So
I don't
no.
think that he's. Well, no, I don't think he would do well.
Okay, guys, let's just do a quick draft update here. As we see here that Danny, who was drafted 4th overall by Daryl, goes out here.
The typical Daryl pick.
So now all of the top draft picks have gone out here. We're down to the highest draft player left is Heidi, right? Jade at number 10, and
no Jam. Number 5.
Oh, Jam. I forgot Jam. I thought I saw red. I thought, but it was around his name. So Jam is the most highest drafted player.
Poor Amanda. She gets Bruce, and he's gone day one.
Smashed his head twice.
He smashed his head against the log and changed the course of destiny.
He smashed the hourglass and changed the course of history, as it goes.
Yes. Lauren's still in it. Last pick.
Lauren is, you might win with Lauren here. It's not impossible.
So how does Lauren win if she's competing against Jaemeel and Heidi in the final 3?
Right.
That's how she wins.
Imagine that is the final 3. Oh my god.
Heidi's the last surviving member of Soka left, guys.
Yeah,
Carolyn was-
that Soka tribe was terrible. I mean, they could have like just dominated the merge, and they were like, nah, you know.
Nope, couldn't get on the same
Yeah,
page.
technically, yeah. They had all of their members with the exception of Claire.
And I think Carson was originally on. Was he originally on that
He
tribe?
was on
No.
Tika, and then he moved over when Josh moved over.
Oh, okay.
So they had all of their members with the exception of Claire, and all of them are gone with the exception of Heidi. That's
So now,
ridiculous. That is-
Jamie Lynn and Lauren are left from Ratu, and of course Tika has the numbers here. But now we see in this preview for next week that they're talking about getting rid of Carolyn potentially.
Oh, that's not happening. That's a looky loo.
That's a misdirect.
It's a red herring.
And Jam Jam's the one talking about doing it. Okay,
Carolyn's going to be in the fun. I think Carolyn's winning the game. I think the opening shot of this season was Carolyn like not knowing even how to answer a simple basic question on Survivor.
Who are you?
And then she kills it during Final Tribal,
Yeah.
and it's like the bookends of the season.
Yeah,
Well, speaking of
I
Carolyn,
think she's winning. I think she's winning this season.
Foster, you have Carolyn in this draft. Your second.
Oh my
pick.
goodness, great pick, but we'll see. Like it doesn't look great in terms of the outlook of next week for the preview, but obviously it's not going to always the conclusion. So we'll see.
Jane has Heidi left.
I don't see a world in any circumstance where someone from Tika doesn't win the game.
It doesn't make any sense.
There's no circumstance to me unless the final three is no Tika. But if anybody from Tika is in the final three, they are winning.
It feels highly unlikely to me that Lauren is winning this game.
Lauren,
Like,
If
am
I
I wrong?
somehow win cut through Lauren, that'd be hilarious.
Jamie Lynn ain't winning. No
Jamie Lynn,
way.
I think, is like more likely than Lauren. Although I agree that Jamie Lynn's
No,
unlikely.
people. She is people. I think people low key hate that laugh and her attitude.
Yes.
Maybe.
Not even so low key. Especially once the jury like starts to. If she gets, I hope she gets into Final Tribal. I really do because she would be hilarious.
Let's just remind ourselves about Jamie
I
Lynn.
still have my idol. How do I still have my idol? I'm so happy I still have my idol. How do I still have my idol? Oh my god.
That fate is great. One fake idol.
One fake idol.
It's great.
Yeah, so I think I think you're right that I think it's probably gonna be somebody from Tika who wins this game, and I think it's probably Carolyn. If not Carolyn, though, it could be Carson or Jam Jam. Like, why not? You know?
it could be.
I'm totally fine with any of those people winning.
But like it's like say it's like Heidi, Carson, Jam Jam, Carson wins. You know, most likely.
Really?
I think so.
If Carson does not win another challenge for the rest of the game,
Oh no, you'd have to win like the final three and bring Heidi or something like that, and then Jam Jam. You know what I mean? Like I could see something like that happening. You know, I just see like I think it's tiered. If Carolyn's in the final three, she wins. It doesn't matter who she's with. If Carson's in the final three with Jam Jam and like Heidi, I think Carson wins, but it's probably close. It's like with Jam Jam. I think it's probably a close vote. If Jam Jam is in the final three without Carson or Carolyn, he wins. That's the only way I think Jam Jam wins. I think that's why in the preview for the next episode, Jam Jam's like, I have to get Caroline out.
Okay,
And he knows. He knows. He's not.
And does Carson know that too? Is my question. Let's have a look at the next next time.
Somehow, we are finally in the majority, and so now we can run this game.
Next time on Survivor.
We are outnumbered. We have to break that up. Carolyn plays like she's clueless, but she's fooling all of us.
I think Caroline can win.
I need to take Caroline out. It breaks my heart a little bit.
Yeah, I think I agree that Carolyn plays like she's clueless and she's pie in the sky, but she's smart. She knows what she's doing.
which is why Franny respected her.
Yeah. Like a bit of what she does is an act. It's her personality, but a bit of it is an act.
And you know,
They think I'm confused.
Confused.
Yeah.
She's a manic pixie dream girl.
yeah.
She is.
And it's easy to underestimate those players in a game of strategic, maneuvering. It's easy
Especially when everyone else has such a huge ass ego.
Mhm.
Right, and she's more unusual and orthodox.
See, like she's kind of the opposite of like a Jamie Lynn, where like Carolyn's pretty authentic, whereas Jamie Lynn's very inauthentic to watch her.
I say Jamie Lynn's more contrived. You know, she's a little bit more of a Instagram version of a person.
She's like an actor, whereas like Carolyn's putting on an act. There's a difference. You know, like Carolyn's knows what she's doing. I think. And it still comes across somewhat natural, whereas Jamie Lynn,
Jamie's cutting up episodes and putting hashtag, full circle, hashtag yoga life, hashtag, best life, hashtag survivor. I could just see her just putting like these clips, these yoga clips or anything, hashtag positivity, best life, yoga life, something like that, some string of hashtags to these clips, and it's like, this is my segmented perfect life and existence and happy thing that's just an act.
I think, well, maybe she's not, she's on a show. I think there's a bit of that for her, but I think she's mostly being herself. But I think she's also a little stimulated out there, so it's all those things.
Are you annoyed?
Absolutely.
Has anyone ever told Jeff to his face in a tribal council, like,
yes, probably,
I don't really like you or what you're doing,
or just your voice?
Like Jeff took it pretty well. I thought. I was like, okay, and he was kind of a dick. Actually,
Randy. Probably Randy.
Randy does it to everybody though. Randy was just like, he hates everybody. That's his whole shtick.
Randy, and who else was on Gabon with Randy? The one who hated sugar.
Spice?
No. Remember Sugar? What's her name? Who used to do the breakdowns with Rob? Whenever I'm gonna find her name, honestly, because she's great. I love her.
Well, on that note, any final thoughts, Foster, on this episode or the season so far?
Well, like I once again, like I'm trying to just look back in terms of considering, like, I only came half with you last season, and this season's already better. Like, it's way better. Not already, it's better.
Way better than last season. You're enjoying it. You're obviously rooting for your draft pick, Carolyn.
Yeah.
And do you feel like it's a travesty that it's not a 39-day season, or how do you feel about that at this time?
Well, I'm going to side with the Jaemeels and the Jeffreys of the world and be like, why can't you like meet in the middle and go like 30 days or like a couple few more? But it's I don't like the 28 days.
31 days at least.
26
Make it a month.
days.
26 days?
Yeah,
exactly.
I think at least go 28. That is at least on February.
It's just it's like if they like took like the NBA and they're like, we're doing 60 games now. It's just like all of the records gone. Like it's not the same game. That they're playing. It's just like you're starting over. And it's just kind of like, I don't know, muddies it down, and it's just also it changes the game too, big time. Like the one thing that I can see how it was too long. 3 days between each vote was kind of insane,
Right.
But now, because the thing is, before I think they didn't know where they were always going. Now they know they're always in Fiji. They can set up these challenges permanently, basically.
Yeah, or have like it's very modular, so they can kind of tear them up and put them, different versions of them together very quickly.
Yeah, but I don't know. I just debate 32 days would have been better, or 30 days.
Yeah. Okay, I'm with you. Let's
26,
do it.
Too much.
Give us 32 days, everybody. CBS. What are you waiting for? Is anyone going to be sending an audition in for Survivor?
No.
What are you waiting for? Jeff Pro says, if you want to come out here, you have to send us
the elimination of water challenges. That's what I'm waiting for.
But do you have done the one today?
They did one tonight.
Yeah, could you have done that one?
No, I can't swim.
But you
And
don't need to swim
two,
for that. You just got to hold on to the bars.
and two, due to a traumatic experience previously, there for a long time, I used to get like hyperventilate when water was put over my head.
Yeah, I mean, I've swam. I can hold my breath underwater, all that kind of stuff. I think that this challenge would freak me out. I'd probably just tap out pretty early and just be like, all right, I'm done. You know, just like it's not worth it.
Foster, is this your challenge?
Sorry, my tab went off and it was like making noise, and I had to close it. What was the question?
The water challenge tonight. Would you have been able to do that challenge?
Oh hell no! The first thing I wrote down was like I'd be like Lauren. I don't have enough meat in my bones to stay in the water that long.
Fair enough. And the person I was referring to from Survivor Gabon that would have told off Jeff is Corinne.
Corinne, yeah.
Yeah.
I don't know if she ever did. She just hated sugar.
She hated everyone. Same with Randy. That's why they bonded so well.
Yeah. She was a hater. She was great TV though.
It was great TV.
Yeah.
Foster, if you want to see a hater, look up Corinne Survivor.
Yeah.
Sounds good.
Okay. Yes.
Well, guys, we'll wrap up for tonight. Check us out for next week's episode, which I believe is going to be titled "I'm the Bandit." Who is that bandit? We'll find out.
Oh, it sounds like a Carolyn reference. It's not good.
Sounds like a Jam thing, maybe. I don't know. Let's see. Smokey and the Bandit?
And
what kind of bandit?
And I'm the bandit.
Who's the bandit? So, guys, we'll be back for at least 2 more episodes of Survivor, we think. And then, if you didn't know, we've been covering Big Brother Canada here on the channel all season long. Big Brother Canada 11, that is, which is going on right now. We go into our Survivor podcast because it's only once a week, so we always make sure to put that on Wednesdays. But we've been covering the other one, and that had a veto episode tonight. They're down to Final 4. We won't be on tomorrow night, we think. Well, we haven't quite made a plan. We might do some live streaming to the channel. We're not quite sure. We'll see what happens, how we end up. We're going to watch the Big Brother Canada 11 finale tomorrow in Toronto. Jeff, Jaemeel, and I, at least. Not Foster. He's got
family obligations.
Family obligations. And so we're going to see a live podcast, not of us, other podcasters. Rob has a podcast, and Taryn Armstrong and others. And then we're going to see where things go from there. But downtown Toronto. So we won't be on tomorrow night, but we'll let what we think. But we'll probably do some kind of recap up for that season very soon, if you were wondering. All right.
Yeah, the 3 people that had no idea who Rachel Riley was.
Oh, that was the most embarrassing thing. Yeah, because Rachel Riley showed up on the episode last night. Spoilers, of course, for Big Brother Canada 11. And Ty had no idea. And she's like, why don't you go get other people? Somebody up there must know who I am. Oh, it turns out only one of the final 4. Daniel.
I laughed so much at the
Rachel
idea that Ty
for the US.
Yeah.
Why? What? Why would she? Okay.
She was doing.
They occasionally get American players to show up as guests. Dan appeared previously, I think, and I think Dr. Will previously. Yeah.
Oh wow.
And they probably didn't know who they were either.
No, probably 1 or 2.
Anika really didn't know who Rachel Riley was, and Claudia didn't really know either.
Either know or you don't know.
Ty liked her because they showed the clips of her talking trash and he appreciated it.
Yeah, I like her. I like her vibe, but he didn't know who she was either. He'd never seen her seasons. So,
yeah.
He's got what's Rachel Riley's Brandon or whatever? Yeah,
Brandon. Yeah,
Ty's got a bit of a Brandon vibe to him.
And then she's like, "Yeah, well, I married my showmans," and he was like, "Ugh,
well,
go there. I'm not marrying Claudia yet."
I'm glad it worked out for you.
Yeah.
She's like, he's like, I got. She said I have 2 kids. He's like, oh, I'm not having kids with Claudia yet. So
he's like, I'm gonna win this game.
Jeez, ball game tie. You know, Foster, you might win the draft tomorrow. Are you excited about that?
Yeah, we'll see. Like it was, I don't like it, but we'll see.
This guy who almost quit the game.
Yeah, I know, right? Like what a.
Did you all vote for for Canada's favorite player?
No, I haven't voted for that yet.
There's only one person you can't vote for.
Zach.
Zach, you can't vote for Zach. You can vote for, I believe you can vote for Amal and Vanessa, I believe, but not Zach. That's all kinds of petty. I love it. I love it.
I don't even know where to vote for the favorite. Canada's favorite house guest. Oh, here it is. Vote ends in. I don't know who I would vote for.
Vote for Amal.
Amal?
Or I say vote for Amal or Vanessa. Please.
Who would I vote for? I would probably
Amal, Vanessa.
John Michael.
Or John Michael. No, you have to pick someone who quit.
Zach.
No, Zach's not on the board.
Zach can't be voted for. Are you sure? Yeah, he's right. You're right. He's not there.
It's great. All kinds of petty. It's like we'll allow you to vote for these quitters, but not that quitter.
Yeah, Amal. You can vote for Amal, but not for Zach. That's my favorite part.
Okay, like, I enjoyed her video.
We're getting off track here. We're kind of rambling on. Okay, if you didn't know, we also cover Marvel stuff here on the channel. Most recently, we did Guardians of the Galaxy Volume 3. It was Davan, Jaemeel, and I. We talked about the whole film and broke it down and what we thought of it. So check that out on this channel if you haven't already. And if you want to know, it's, of course, a spoiler review. And then we're part of a federation of podcasts, which is called the United Federation Podcast. It features many people like myself, Davan Skelhorn, Jaemeel Robinson, Adam Woodward, Eamon Mater, Chris Murphy, and others, and the present company included, of course. And on the Federation, we got things like Hold Up, a movie podcast where we talk about movies, X-Rated, X-Men, the animated review show. They go back and look at those cartoon episodes. The Graphic Histories podcast with Andre Mayette, interviewing people from film, comic books, TV, and all kinds of interesting characters. Eamon on Track, where he does album reviews, most recently with Adam Woodward, talking about the Pogues, Rum, Sodomy, and the Lash. Check that one out. We got Michael Chan, Alex Blackburn doing horror podcasts called the Hellbound Podcast all the time. Wednesdays that come out. X or Trivial Debates coming up this Saturday. Chris Seymour, guys, can you believe it? Is going to be hosting.
Is it this Saturday? Yeah,
Saturday night. We're doing this is a Saturday night feature. I'm clearly stalling as I bring up the graphic card here. Uploading.
It's uploading.
There we go. What do you think of this? What do you guys think of that?
I like the picture of Eamon. This is an upgrade from the previous picture of Eamon.
Eamon picture.
I love that Chris is above a heart and flowers. It's a real sweet picture of Chris.
So what question about his band did he include?
Well, it's gonna be a Primus question. What's my mom's favorite Primus song? If she had one, probably gonna be its question. If it's not, that's what it should be.
Yes.
And then lastly, just
the
want to
mothership.
mention, yeah, we got Live Long in Podcast, Star Trek podcasts, and all kinds of great stuff over there. So check out all our great content. We're good at this stuff. We love it. Please subscribe, like, and go out there. Okay. And on that note,
are we going to see Jonathan and Hope tomorrow? Are we?
Jonathan and Hope?
Yeah.
So
I can get possibly.
I hope so. I hope we might run into somebody from the cast in Toronto. Who's to say?
So I can get these signed.
Foster, if we meet somebody, if we meet your draft pick tied, what do we want? What do you want us to tell him?
Ball game.
Yeah, just say that.
Foster says ball game.
Yeah.
He'll know. He'll know what it means. Okay. On that note, guys, we'll see you next time. Thanks for being with us, and have a great night.
Oh wait, wrong one.
Oh yeah, and this.
You get some sleep, Carolyn. Who knows how you'll see things. Are you mad at me now?
Yes.
Why?